Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tommy. I'm a human nutrition student and researcher at the university. My job here in this type of videos is to synthesize what I learned at the university during the classes, and then I explain and teach you the best and most valuable information you need to know. So today we are going to continue the health nutrition series of videos, and we are going to talk about diets. In particular, we are going to talk about the balanced diet and then the functional nutrition. So let's begin. So balanced diet, we understand that we need some nutritional goals to meet with our diet. This is to decrease diseases caused by nutrition. There is no recommended intake for fats and carbs. You have to be careful with that because we have the recommended amounts, grams per kilogram per day of proteins, which is from 0.8 to 1 gram, but nothing for fats and carbs. Intake for protein is higher in reality than the one recommended. And you have to keep an eye on alcohol, salt and cholesterol, and also fiber. People tend to eat less fiber than needed, but more alcohol, salt and cholesterol than they really need. Everything depends based on the physical activity level of the people we are looking for, because not everyone is the same, and also by the body mass index. If someone is obese, will not eat the same or similar to someone that is an athlete, for example. Talking about here in Spain, the nutritional goals are 55 to 60% of carbs, less than 6% of sugars, fats are 30 to 35%, 7 to 8 are saturated, unsaturated must be the rest, and we have to focus on the ratio between omega-6 and omega-3, which is supposed to be 1:1 or maybe 4:1 for the omega-6s because they are more common in food, but in reality we're talking about more than 7:1 for the omega-6s, which are pro-inflammatory. And in Western diets, we are reaching the number of 25:1, which is very, very bad for our health. So we need to restore that number to the ratio to ideally 1:1. Proteins, we say 10 to 15%, combining the animal and the vegetable proteins. Talking about cholesterol, less than 300 milligrams, water more than 1.5 liters per day, fiber more than 25, alcohol less than 20 grams, salt less than 5 grams, vitamin D 5 micrograms, iron 10 milligrams, folate 400 milligrams, and calcium 800 milligrams. To reach those nutritional goals, we have the food guidelines. They provide guidance on food consumption. To reach the nutritional goals, they are simple graphic representations and they give us practical advice and scientific principle. These are some examples of food guidelines. For example, this is the Harvard one. This I think comes from Australia, Spanish one, and many more. So as you can see, some of them use the pyramid, and more recently they started using the plate because it's more visual, I guess. Now we talk about the Mediterranean diet, one of the best diets in the world, they say. So this is based on the 7-country study. It's an epidemiological study that says that fat is bad for our health and that we need to consume low fat to gain health. But this is a correlation, not a causality. The Mediterranean diet is lower in fat and in sugars. From the 7-country study, they created the pyramid and the recommendations. These pyramids, they come from this big study. And they say that we need to consume extra virgin olive oil, high vegetables, bread, grains, no processed food, seasonal food of course, dairy, low red meat, high amount of fish, some eggs, and of course water, plus some exercise. PREDIMED is a study done with 75,000 participants with high cardiovascular risk. After nearly 5 years, it shows that the Mediterranean diet used in these participants, it lowered by 30% the cardiovascular diseases. Highest levels of scientific evidence for primary prevention of cardiovascular diseases. So basically they used the Mediterranean diet to determine if it was a good or bad tool for treating those cardiovascular diseases, and it showed that it lowers by 30% the risk. So now let's view the macros on the Mediterranean diet. Carbs. Carbs are mainly from wheat, barley, millet, oats, rye, bread, pasta and rice. So mainly from grains, whole grains preferably. Fat. The fat comes from the extra virgin olive oil, which improves the digestion, the satiety, it lowers the LDL, it increases the HDL, and also absorption of all the nutrients, for example. But it basically lowers the bad cholesterol and increases the good cholesterol. So that's why the Mediterranean diet was so effective in cardiovascular diseases, because it's high in extra virgin olive oil, and the Predimed showed exactly that. Proteins in the Mediterranean diet come from legumes and nuts, fish, some meat, and eggs. The Mediterranean diet also has some bioactive components, such as the antioxidants. These are the vitamin C, which is good for higher immune response and cancer protection. The lycopene, for example, in the tomato, may reduce the cardiovascular diseases risk. And the resveratrol, which comes from the wine, that's why they include the wine, even though resveratrol can be found in other foods that don't contain alcohol. There is a controversy here, because they say that it may reduce some cancers. It is present in wine, but should not be the first source of resveratrol. Moving on, we have the phytosterols, which lowers the risk of cardiovascular diseases, replacing the cholesterol. The omega-6 omega-3s, ideally the ratio should be 1:1 to 4:1. Actually, in Spain, we have 7:1 in favor of the omega-6s, and in the Western diet, 20:1, as I said earlier. Oily fish, flax seeds, chia seeds, and perilla oil. These are sources of omega-3 that we can find in the Mediterranean diet. And then we talk about probiotics and prebiotics. So prebiotics are non-digestible ingredient that's food for the microbiota, whereas probiotics are beneficial living microorganisms present in food to enrich our microbiota. So to remember this very quickly and easy, remember that pro, which has an O, goes with the microorganisms. Probiotics are microorganisms, whereas prebiotics are an ingredient. EEOO. Prebiotics and probiotics, they have a symbiosis. That means that they can work together, because we have the microorganisms and the food for those microorganisms, and they help us with higher immune function, lower allergies, higher digestion and absorption, lower infections, lower diarrhea, and higher biodiversity. Moving on, we have the Mediterranean diet in Spain. There is an organization here called ASAN that has some recommendations for the general population. To eat fruits and veggies 5 servings per day, dairy from 0 to 3 servings per day, grains 3 to 6 servings per day, olive oil on a daily basis. Then fish, more than 3 servings per week, eggs from 0 to 4 servings per week, meat from 0 to 3, nuts more than 3, legumes from 4 to 7 servings per week, this is very high, and water from tap when possible. So why legumes? Legumes are there for sustainability purposes, because meat, it is supposed to contaminate the environment, and legumes do less harm to our health, apparently. So the recommendations are to increase the ingestion of legumes bit by bit. General recommendations are to plan your shopping list, to compare prices between brands, to consume local products, to eat seasonal fruits and vegetables, to go for frozen or canned fruits and vegetables without extra sugars, and to eat legumes, potatoes, sweet potatoes, oats and rice. This is meant all for sustainability. Sustainability, legumes. And then we talk about functional nutrition. What is functional food? Food with an added effect that's beneficial to human health. It started in Japan after World War II to fight chronic diseases. Superfood? No, not really. Fruits and veggies and legumes and organs are superfoods, but functional food are not. What is not a functional food? Supplements? diet food, a miracle, a healing food, a nutrient-rich food, they are not functional foods. Functional food is a food with an added effect that's beneficial to human health. How to create a functional food? Well, remove a component, maybe an anti-nutrient. 2. To increase the concentration of a component. 3. To add a new component. 4. To change the bioavailability of a component. And number 5. Change a component for another one. Legislation and nutritional statements. There are no laws in Spain for regulations of functional food. Nutritional statements regulation. To avoid false advertisements. This is because even if there are no laws, you cannot put everything you want as a nutritional statement. What you can do is using scientific markers of exposure, of target functions and biological response, and intermediate criteria. And these are the permitted nutritional statements: the energy provided, the healthy properties, the reduction of cardiovascular diseases, only risk factors, not the whole disease, and children development and growth. But this must be attributed to a nutrient inside the food, not to the food itself. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you understood everything I said. If you didn't, there is a comment section down below. Remember to like, subscribe and share this video to your friends and family to spread this knowledge to them as well. You can download this diagram by clicking the first link in the description down below. It's on my website and you can study it for free. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one. Ciao!